Next, I will explain the physics of this new device in terms so simple that even a high school student can understand. The ideal device for traveling through space using ionized-argon gas would be a linear plasma railgun. It works very simply. 2 strips of copper with 3 magnets under it, for example, plus charges on one side, minus charges on the other. I made a little model here just to show you. 2 strips of copper, 3 magnets, all the same way sticking up. And if we pass argon gas between them at high voltage and ionize, it shoots out strongly to the right. This is a very simple and elegant method. Unfortunately, the length of copper I've shown here is not nearly long enough to work. It has to be much longer, so that's impractical for space travel. Something which we might do instead is to take 2 tubes of conducting metal, say aluminium and copper, and place them at the center of a big ring magnet. Then we get what's called a Corbino disk, where positive charge on the outside, negative charge on the inside, creates an ionized gas, and that ionized gas spins in a circle when it experiences the magnetic field from that big ring magnet. This is essentially a circular form of the linear railgun. The same thing, but we've wrapped it into a circle like a donut. Unfortunately, they spin around really fast, but nothing shoots out for propulsion. So it's a very nice device, but if we use a ring magnet like that, nothing shoots out. The next thing we can do, instead of using a ring magnet, we can use a very special set of magnets like this, which has both axial magnetic fields, north-south along the center, and also radial magnetic fields pointing in or out all the way around due to these stacks of magnets being arranged in a ring. So we have axial versus radial magnetism. This is the axial magnetism, it just makes it spin. But now if we add also radial magnetism on both sides, then that spin motion gets converted to a sort of a helix going upward, which will shoot ions out, as I've already shown. So it's axial that way and radial pointing in because it's a ring. Now what I have shown in previous videos is a device which looks something like this, except the argon ions aren't shot out continuously but sporadically like a ratchet or like a machine gun fire. How does that work? Well, when we have axial plus radial magnetism, first the ions will spin around and then they'll shoot out and release some gas, and then it'll have to refill again, and then it'll shoot out some more. That's what gives the ratchet noise. It's sort of like a car piston exploding and then refilling with gasoline and exploding again. So that's where the ratchet comes from, a periodic ejection of gas from this device and then refilling with gas and shooting out again. Finally, when working with a device like this, there's a very clever thing we can do called triple red switching. Normally we wire it up so plus charges are on the aluminium tube outside, while there's a negative charge on the copper tube inside, plus or minus 40,000 volts. Argon gas flows through the little hole between them. However, we can put a switch in the system where that minus charge goes to plus or vice versa. When that happens, any argon plus cations immediately get shot out. Then it'll refill with gas. When we go back to the original minus inside, switch to plus again, it'll go out again. This is a very good way for turning the flame on or off. I'm not sure whether it's better or worse than just using constant voltages on the disk. There are many interesting things to discover, and we will hope to do that in the future.